everyone, welcome along to today, Tuesday's live video from here in my studio. Hi to everyone who's watching live, and hi if you're watching on catch up on Facebook or over on YouTube. It's obviously not the actual moment. You are witnessing a moment of history if you're rewatching this. Hi, good morning, Brittany. Hi, Hannah. Lovely to see you all here. Thanks for coming along and joining me today. Today, we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to do some drawing. So the last few days, we've been doing a bit of colouring, and I thought, why not do some drawing today? And you're actually going to get a sneak peek at something that I'm making for a new project that I'm working on, which may or may not be a new book. I always have to start work on the next one before we've even launched the one before, so if that makes sense. And usually we it automatically feeds through to Amazon, and it makes it available for pre-order once we've confirmed the title. So like all you eager beavers will spot it, and then I see people going, I've just ordered your new book, and I'm sitting here thinking, I've only drawn 2 pages of that book. Like, not much pressure. But anyway, today, oh howdy from TX. Is that Texas, Nina? TX? I'm assuming so. Oh, Wyoming. Oh my goodness. It's America. Hi, America. Hi, America. We're going to do some drawing, and we are going to do you remember last week I did a download that was, I don't even have it to hand. It said, we can do hard things. And it's that wonderful Glennon Doyle quote. But this day, today, we're going to do one that says, progress, not perfection, because I really believe that we should revise that well-known saying, motto, whatever you call it, mantra, practice makes perfect, because it doesn't. I've got a whole additional rant about this. I'll post that video maybe a bit later today, but I mean, it's not a rant, it's a very valid point. A rant makes it sound like it's some like incoherent jumble, which, you know, usually I'm pretty incoherent, but it's the notion that practice doesn't make you perfect, because perfect's like a moving goal. Like, you can never get to perfect, because every time you get close it just shifts and moves away. So you shouldn't really be aiming for perfection. You should be aiming for progress, and that is the best thing to aim for. So don't aim to do the best drawing in the world ever. Just aim to do a better drawing than you did yesterday. Like, that's how I operate. And if you keep doing that, you do gradually get better. Right, let's do some drawing. So I'm going to flip the camera and I'll show you my art supplies and things so that everything's the right way around. I filmed this on my phone, so if you're watching this back and you're like, that, why is all the writing back to front? That is why. But if I flip the camera, we don't have that issue. Right, let me, here we go. Right, that's my cup of tea. I'll move that over here. Okay. Do you know what? I thought I'd be able to watch the live on my laptop, which I have actually set up, but we're not seeing the live feed come through. Just assuming we're not upside down, back to front, any of those things. Oh, now I see it. Now I see it. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, Leslie says hers is taped to the kitchen cupboard. I'm assuming that was the we can do hard things. Brilliant, huh? So this is a sneak peek at how I do those sort of illustrated writing things. I cheat a little bit. Well, not a cheat, it's just the way I do it. I like, because the writing is so floral and quite intricate, if I did handwritten text, I feel it would get a little bit overwhelming and like quite confusing. So I like to print out in typeset letters the phrase, because then there's something structured and regular and sort of like a solid foundation underneath all the hand drawing. So here you can see I've printed out our saying. I did have to put it through spell check just to check that I wasn't being silly. Imagine that. Imagine there was a big spelling mistake. Here is my layout paper. This is my favourite paper for drawing. Super smooth, really white, great for scanning, but also, here's the important bit, thin enough that you can sketch through it, see through it even. So I like to use it on the pad so that you've got all this paper to cushion your pencil, and also it means that when I push that up, it butts up against the top of the pad, which sort of holds everything in place. So I don't need to use tape or like clips or anything like that. And I'm going to use my clicky pencil, and I'll show you how I do the first. We're not going to manage to do it all. Let's just do the first word or so. Here we go. Oh, right. So I'm going to make this quite floral. The bigger these letter forms, the more detail you can do. But this is going to be printed in a book. Oh, do you know what? This lead's about to go and I don't have a spare one. Let's see if there's something. Of course not, of course not. Stand by, everyone. So I don't get any lead. I'm trying, honestly, to be much more organised with this. Here we go. Just talk amongst yourselves. It's nice that I've got the AirPods in. I can take you with me. Right, here's my lead. Let's just pop this out here. Now, I used to just press the button and like feed the lead in up here, and then somebody was like, no, you pull that bit off and put it in there. Makes much more sense and is less messy. Right, well, just there we go. Hello. So back to drawing. I'm gonna do it quite floral so that the progress looks like it's flourishing. And it's really just a trick of using that lettered sheet underneath as a bit of a guide. And you just start filling in all the shapes. Now, I try not to be too beholden to that guide. So it's good if there's a few bits that sort of roam free and escape. That makes it look quite natural. Let's do some little blue belly things here. If you're too tight and sort of constrained by those letters underneath, I think it loses a little bit of that sort of natural wild charm that's quite pretty. So use it as a guide, but don't get too worried by it. And what I'm going to do is draw all in pencil first, and then I would ink it. So that's our, sorry, I know it's a bit annoying when I've got my hand right in the middle. Let me try and come at it this way a little bit. Let's do like a tulip here. Curly leaf situation down here. And then I might it's quite leafy. Let's do a few more flowers. I'm going to do like a few little 4-petaled blossoms. I'm not sure what they are. And then maybe a wee branch, I think. So this can come out this way, and it's sort of Goes off in 2 directions. And the more you do things like this, the more you sort of build up your vocabulary, your visual vocabulary. That's a trickier thing to say than I thought, of how to fill in all the little spaces. So, for example, you just sort of learn a few good leaf shapes and a few good flower forms, and those are like your go-to moves for filling in a few different spaces. I quite like it when you have a little bit of grass, a blade of grass curled around each other like that. That's quite pretty and sort of wild. So don't worry if it's looking a bit sort of smudgy and a bit messy just now, because when you come to ink it in, we fix all those things. I'll do one more letter on this section, and then I'll do the not, out of progress, not perfection, because I'm going to do that a bit differently. And then I'll ink it, otherwise we're just not going to have time to do all the things that we need to do. I'm not sure if these are bluebells or, I was going to say snowdrops, definitely not snowdrops, definitely more of a bluebell situation or a harebell. Oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do like a bit of a, almost like a fern thing like that. And I quite fancy doing, let's do a bit of a daisy here, and then I want to do some sort of dandelion baby's breath things, or I think it's called gypsophyllum, but that idea of quite a spriggy, I don't know what that is, it's just like a spriggy kind of plant, isn't it? And I'll do, and I'm also going to do some leaves that look a bit eucalyptusy, so sort of round penny shaped leaves. And down here, don't want this bit too wide, so probably just going to do a wee simple vine. It's like a nice placeholder, and the odd little bit like this, like a wee curly tendril, just I think breaks it all up, keeps it looking really pretty. So there we go, there's our pro. Now the knot, because this is going to be quite floral, and I'm going to do progress and perfection in that sort of very densely floral writing. The knot, as you can see, anyway, I've used a different font. I'm going to do this quite simple so that it's not all competing and you've got a little bit of variation. So I'm actually, I think I'll probably just keep this super simple and make it all black with a few flourishes and outlines, a few flourishes and leaves even. So I'm going to make the tail of the N a bit more exaggerated. And I might actually scoop this into the O so it'll sort of go behind it. I did a calligraphy course online last year, and I just really wanted to I think I kind of got confused about the different types of calligraphy. I've discovered I do not like that sort of really sort of formal calligraphy, definitely more into the wild kind of free reign stuff where you can do things like this and sort of find out unique ways to jumble your letters together. I wonder if that's going to be confusing if let's make the O just simple. and then connect the T in here. Lovely. I feel like that would need to be more scoopy. So no flowers in this. I might add a couple of leaves in a second, and that just keeps the knot, which is already a bit smaller than the other writing. It just differentiates it, takes some of the focus away from that wee word in the middle and back on the main two words. And it'll be black like that. Now, should we add a wee? I'm not sure about that T. Let me just try it without. Sometimes it just looks a bit cluttered. I think it's going to be better without that interlinking. I think I'm veering towards that. And then I might just put a few little leaves. To tie it all together. That's a bit of a round leaf. So that's the top to my pencil, is it? Oh no, it's the leads. I've got a really sore bit on my thumb. I think it's from all the hand washing and drawing and cold and hand sanitizer. Right, there we go. Now let me show you how I would ink this. So take out your, let me zoom out, hold on. I'm going to take out my sheet from underneath my guide. I'm going to remove the sheet that I've sketched on and then pop it underneath a new sheet. So this paper wouldn't be great for framing or, you know, a finished piece of artwork. It's fantastic if you are creating artwork that you then scan into a computer and need to use digitally, which I do. So that is why I love this paper. It just scans so nicely. And because it's got a really smooth surface, your pen just glides over it. And for anyone that doesn't know, the reason that I love Staedtler fineliner pens is that when I was at art school, there was a little art materials shop within the art school, like on campus, and they sold these kinds of pens. They sold a few different kinds actually, but these ones I discovered were the best cost-effective pens that I could find. Didn't have much money as an art student. I was one of those students that spent their student loan on fancy pens and chalk as opposed to clothes and booze and all that kind of stuff. So even when I'm inking, I like to add some extra little flourishes and things. Like I don't stick exactly to those lines that I've sketched. And this is a 0.2 fine liner. Pigment liner, sorry. Quiet on the seagull front tonight, isn't it? I don't think there was a storm last night. I think somebody had said yesterday, oh, they make that noise when there's a storm coming. I don't think there was. They were just fighting over about a chip or something. Right, that's our P. We'll do our wee 4 petal blooms here. little bit of overlap is nice as well. Just kind of gives it a bit of depth. Makes it seem more wild and less static, I guess, as well. Little stem here. Don't really know what that is there. Never mind. What are these little... Can't quite make out what that is. Or just little leaves, that's right. I'll do this tulip flower first. I'm just going to do everything in the 0.5 today. Sometimes 0.5, 0.2. Sometimes I switch out between pens. If I'm doing something for a colouring book and I know the scale is going to need to be reduced anyway, so this is obviously slightly bigger than colouring book size, so it is going to be reduced down. If it gets any smaller and we've used a finer pen, it just gets a little bit tricky to colour. So I need to be quite wary of scale. And here we have our wee vine coming back that way, and then a wee bit of grass curls round. I'm gonna actually, do that. I was helping Evie with our homework this morning. Our home learning, you know what, like. And she had to write a list of words that had WH in it, like whirl. Well, yeah, so I'd said whirl. She says, what does that even mean? I says, well, like a whirlpool, like whirl, round and round, whirl. She couldn't grasp that. So eventually I had to mime what a whirligig was and point it out the window. And for anyone who doesn't, I don't know, is that like a northeast thing, a Scottish thing? A whirligig is one of those static washing lines that looks a bit like an umbrella, and you hang your clothes on it and it just spins round and round as opposed to like a washing line. Anyway, it just ended up with a scene with me going, like a whirligig, and then spinning around looking like a complete and utter muppet. Bit here. So I do writing like this, well, obviously for, like these positive affirmation posters, is that what you would call them? But also, if with Valentine's Day coming up, you could do a really sweet one that says like love or wife, husband, all those good things. You could do one that just says something nice and happy, like joy or happy itself. For weddings, I used to make my friends prints like this that had like the bride and groom's name on it. It makes such a lovely wedding present. Also, when my friends had babies, I used to make little prints with the babies' names on them. So I did flowers for the girls, and then usually if it was a boy, I would do little robots. I did some of the robots for the girls as well, but the girls tended to end up with flowers, which is very narrow-minded of me. But in my defence, it was before I had children, so I think I just wasn't really wired into that kind of stuff yet. Alas, I'm very behind. There's a lot of babies being born that haven't had their prints yet. My aim is to get them to them before they leave home for university. So just work into that timeline. Stand by, everyone who's had a baby in the last 10 years. Promise I'll get to you. Right, let's have a few little dots. I'm going to join that up as well. So there's our pro. It's quite heavy here, isn't it? We'll just go with it for now. And then the knot, I'm gonna do like this. So I have the luxury of knowing that if I really botch this up, I can fix it in Photoshop when I get to the scan stage. But to be honest, sometimes the best bits are when your pen's a bit wobbly, like over the O, then under, over, under. That's how you'll get an overlap. Oh, that was meant to be a leaf, never mind. Like that. And here's our O. I'm going to colour this in black, or you could have just left it white. I quite like the heaviness of the black, just because it's different to the other writing. I might leave the leaves white though. And two things. One of them, scale up. Bigger lines are easier to manoeuvre around, don't need to be so finicky, all that good stuff. Number two, just practice. This is my full-time job. I am literally paid to do drawings, so I do tend to practice quite a bit. Oh no, have we stalled? Oh no, that's fine. Okay, there we go. Oh, what's trains? What's people saying? Was it the noise? Oh, for keeping boys writing. Yeah, I do. I just really like the robots. And to be honest, the robots are nice for girls as well. Dinosaurs would be good as well, though. There we go. Prono. It's not. So it will eventually be this, but for now it is just prono. There you go. Right, that's us. Oh, almost. Because I can't get my tripod to work vertically, I just prop the phone up against a thing with a bit of blue tack. Anyway. Oh, someone says the video is stuck. Oh yeah, I see it as well. There you go. I think perhaps the feed is a little bit, it's funny, I see it down there. I think perhaps the feed's just a bit delayed today. The internet's been running quite slow. I suspect it's just because a million Zoom meetings and teaching sessions and ballet classes are going on just now. Zoom ballet class, it's a thing, it's a thing. If your video is watching, just hang tight, it'll kick back in again. He'll be like, no, it's totally frozen. It'll be okay. It'll be all right. Watch it on the replay. I think it'll sort itself out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that's given you a few ideas. I am now looking at that and not really liking the bluebell situation. I might tweak that. If you're wondering what that's going to end up in, it will be in a new book, but the new book will not be out for a long time. This one, Worlds of Wonder, will be out in March and April. So if you're looking for a new adventure, there you go. Thank you all for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, and I think we will do, I might have to be at home tomorrow if the internet will allow us. Let's do some colouring again tomorrow. Probably Worlds of Wonder. I can't go over how good those Staedtler pencils were. Oh, somebody had asked yesterday, what is the difference between Staedtler Norris, I thought I had some, and Staedtler Ergo Soft. So I don't have my Ergo Softs around, but these are the Norris pencils, which look slightly different. They have the black and white, the black and colour stripy barrel, whereas the Ergo Soft, and it's, what do you call that, hexagon, and the Ergo Softs are the triangular barrel, and they are the colour on the outside, if you know what I mean. So the Norris colours are a little bit cheaper, a little bit harder, still a good pencil. I give them away to people. I would just say a bit not as easy to blend, but still excellent. Like there's nothing wrong with those. I saw somebody say they're too hard to colour. And I think colouring pencils are like clothes. Like there's no such thing as no, I got that metaphor mixed up. In Scotland we say there's no such thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing. And I think there's no such thing as bad art supplies. It's just what you want to do with it and you know what your technique is like. So if you're like me and you like to sharpen really to a really good point and do little details and be quite precise, you are not going to love a big smudgy wax-based pencil, whereas someone else loves that. And it's just about finding the things that you like and don't like. So if you love a wax-based smushy pencil, you're probably not going to like these. They're going to be a bit too graphic, a bit too hard. If, like me, you like doing details, give them a shot. I think there might be like £7 for that kind of set, maybe even less. I'm just making that up. You can get it on Amazon and in supermarkets, so I hope that helps. Right, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, be good, have fun. It's like speaking to my kids. Take care, be good, have fun. Like I literally shout that to them every time I leave the house. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.